Welcome to the Honest Truth Podcast, where I allow everyone to speak their truth. What's poppin', you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Honest Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Sweet, and I hope y'all been enjoying these episodes. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today is a super exciting episode because I have my girl in the building, not only my friend, but my realtor, Dixon.
Hey, boo. What's up?
What's poppin'?
What is up? I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. Y'all, I really felt led to get Dixon on my podcast because she's a new mom, literally 3 months
Postpartum.
out here.
Yep.
And, you know,
3 months.
it still blows my mind because I'm just looking at
bags?
you like, where?
Do I have bags?
No.
Girl, I'm not sleeping.
How many hours would you say you're getting?
I hate thinking about this. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I probably go to sleep around like midnight, 1, and then I wake up. So one thing that you didn't say is I have 2 under 2.
Yeah, I'm like, let them know what's going on.
So I have a 20-month-old, and my 20-month-old, he wakes up at like 6:30, every morning. So if I go to sleep around midnight to 1, the newborn wakes up anywhere from 1 to 2 times in the middle of the night.
Ooh. Woo.
And that's usually like a 30-minute stretch, an hour if I'm unlucky. So yeah, I'm not sleeping.
We're going to get into all of that, y'all.
Yeah.
First and foremost, since I'm a new mom as well, I've been getting like a lot of questions from the mothers. Like they just want to know how we are able to navigate.
I want to say, I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're fine.
I love your baby.
I love your baby.
She is literally the sweetest little girl. Yeah. Like, I love her. She's so beautiful.
I love your babies.
Thank you.
I need to come back over because I know little man is like a lot bigger than last time because I've seen him, 1 month out, I think.
Yeah. Probably, maybe less than that.
Because they look so different, from when they first come out to...
Girl, he was looking like a little old man.
Let's kick this episode off with some icebreakers, okay? Set the tone, set the mood. What's some stuff you did before becoming a mother that you could never do now?
Mom, are you watching?
It's like skip to minute 5.
Okay, so I would say that before I was a mother, I lived in West Hollywood, right?
Ooh.
So I did the typical, lived in West Hollywood and then had a baby and then moved to the Valley.
I'm like, give context for the people who don't know about West Hollywood.
Okay, so West Hollywood, think of like every pop-in restaurant.
Like a strip of fun activities.
Yeah, okay, if you are, let's say you're a reality TV girl, you watch a lot of reality TV. Pretty much everywhere they go is in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like every fun, dope place is in West Hollywood. So you have access to everything. And I lived in West Hollywood. It was so fun. And, it was a little wild, you know what I'm saying? I had some fun. So I just feel like all of that I can't do now. If I had a nanny and my nanny raised my kids, but I'm not that type of girl.
Yeah, me either.
It's
Full-time
crazy.
mom.
Right. So that I would say that for sure, every night was a kick it.
Every night?
I mean, yeah. And I was bartending.
Oh, yeah.
I was living a different life. I was just, I had to dial myself back. And it's crazy because it's not like I'm a huge drinker or a huge partier, anything like that. But it's just the vibe. You're bartending, you meet people and they're like, oh, we're going here. Oh, we're going. And I've always bartended at these dope ass places. So it was I was meeting all these people and they were like, come with me here. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly the environment completely changes because
it does.
When you're not a mom, I mean, I just hold myself at a certain standard. I feel like once I became a mom, I was just like, okay, it's just certain stuff that babes, we just not gonna do like, and I think that's for the moms that do hold their self at a certain standard. It's like your life is definitely going to change, but is your life over? No, it's
not.
just naturally some leaves are gonna fall off the palm tree.
Yeah. I had to get some people out of my life too.
Oh, that too.
It's like you have to do a cleanse because you realize that you have certain people in your life for that time period. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has a place. Everything's a thing. Like, that's just how it works. But you have to understand that, like, not everybody is at the same period of life that you're in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of them hoes gotta go.
I feel like I already cut out stuff before.
Yeah. You were like preparing.
So I wasn't that shocked. Yeah, I wasn't that shocked. I mean, but I feel like I was pretty much on the type of time as you. Like, if there was something that I wanted to do, that I was just going to get up and go do it. It wasn't really like any stipulations on that.
Yeah.
It's like,
can we talk about that? You do not realize how much time you have to yourself.
Yeah, you don't.
Until you have a child. And you're like, oh, baby, we got to do this for how long? Because I'm just trying to go to the mall without my kids. Yeah. Like, it's like everything, like, you do not have a life outside of your kid. I mean, you do, of course, like, you can, but it's like,
it's planning.
Yes, everything is about planning. And especially if you're somebody who, like, really likes to schedule, like, it's crazy because my life before kids, I was not like very schedule oriented.
Me either, girl. Yes, schedule driven. Is that the word?
Yeah, I wasn't very like schedule driven.
Yeah, you did stuff kind of like on the fly, unless it was like a job.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Baby, I'm a Gemini. Like, I was here, there, and there. But it's like now I'm like, well, let's pencil it in. Everything's a calendar. Like, it's different. Yeah,
and that's funny that you speak at the mall because people don't understand it's a field trip. Like, if we're going to the mall, we're not just going to the mall. Like, this is a field trip, okay? Yes. And I'm going to the mall with intentions.
Yes.
Okay? I know exactly what store I'm going to walk in. Then from that store, I already know what store I'm going to go to next. Like, we're not just at the mall today.
Oh, no.
Like, we have this planned out.
We're not going to just do this whole little browse around, be here all day. No. That's not the way it works.
Because then you got to, well, for me, bedtime comes into play now. I'm like, we on a schedule.
Yes.
What is some advice you would give to your 20-year-old self?
To my 20-year-old self, become a real estate agent faster.
Why do you say that?
Because I think that I spent this whole, like, again, some context is my dad's a real estate agent. He's a broker in Cleveland. So he's in real estate for a really long time. And I think that I spent my time just kind of like, just like being young and bartending and doing this and doing that. And I was like, oh, I'll get my real estate license like eventually. And then I got it. And like, obviously, like, I'm fulfilling that dream. But if I would have got it like way sooner, or like as soon as I moved to California,
things would have been different.
Different.
For me, I would say, because I feel like nobody ever told me that every decision you make matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when you're in your early 20s, at least for me, I didn't really think into no relationships that I had, whether it was friends or real relationships.
Yeah.
I didn't think about nothing that I was doing. I just was kind of just reacting to how I was feeling every day.
Right.
So if I was feeling like doing something, that's just what I was going to do. But when you get to a certain age and like you're trying to build a family and all that, like everything matters. Like from that age up until when you decide to like fully commit or fully, I don't know, even with career, when you know,
right?
Everything matters.
Everything does.
Taxes, child. Yes. What expenses did you decide to spend?
Right, exactly. Like everything. It's almost like now too. It's crazy how much like an adult you have to be, and it's like we didn't think this through.
No,
because back then you were just doing whatever, and you were kind of coddled by your parents. Some people, I'm not saying everybody, but I definitely was. So there were just a lot of things that was just like, oh, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that. And
But also, I low key, I don't know, were you in public school?
yeah.
Okay, I low key blame the school system for that.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm like, the parents
for sure
dropped us off at the babysitters, aka school.
Yes.
What were you teaching us? Because
Exactly.
at all the A squared plus B squared, I ain't used that to this day.
There is no way that they should not, like, there's no way that in the curriculum, there's not anything about like taxes or like
show me how to write a check.
Right.
Oh my God, I didn't know how to write a check
managing
at 18.
your money. Like, come on.
All right, so let's dive into motherhood for real. What has this journey been like for you?
It has been so exciting. I honestly didn't think I was going to, well, I'm not going to say I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do, but because I really didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. But when I was pregnant with my first, Junie, I literally would like, it sounds so corny, but I'm sure everybody did it. But I would like go to the crib while I was pregnant and like act like I'm putting him in the crib. And I'd be like, go to sleep, Junie. And like, because I couldn't imagine myself having a baby. Yes. Yeah. And I think that I think for me, the reason why motherhood means so much to me is because the reason why I decided to get pregnant in the first place is because I had a really close family member pass away, my aunt. And she was so close to me. She was almost like another mother. Yeah. And this is her ring.
I noticed it.
I love her. I get so many compliments on this ring. And I'm like, that's beautiful. My auntie Joyce. So I had her pass away. And she was like the one that literally was like, so she was all about the kids. She loved the kids. Like if we were going on a trip, we would be like, call Auntie Joyce. Like it doesn't matter if we're going to Africa. Like she's rolling. She's taking care of the babies. Like that was her.
I love that energy.
I know. And then she passed away and I would have never thought that she was like not going to be in my kids' lives. And to take it a step back, then I grew up with basically no grandparents. So I only had one, by the time I was born, there was one, my mom's mom, and then it was my dad's dad. And whenever I was 6, they passed away within months of each other. So then I grew up with no grandparents. So I didn't want that for my kids. I wanted my kids to like know their grandparents and all of that. So when my Auntie Joyce passed away, I was like, oh Lord, I have to have kids. Like I actually want to have kids now. So I told, me and Jimmy had a little talk and I was like, you ready? And he was like, I've been ready. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we, had kids. Bro. I know. And we had kids and it was just so beautiful. Like it's just been so great. I can't complain at all.
Yeah. So the reason why I looked at you like that, I was like, because when I ask moms that question, I don't know why I expect a negative answer.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I feel like when it comes to like life in general, there's always pros and cons to every situation. Right. That's just how I feel. Like one minute you're working this job, there could be a pro to it. It could be a con to it. Might be in this relationship. Like I feel like moms don't give the journey enough credit because it just feels so hard.
Yeah, and it's so hard.
And it is really hard. And I feel like for me, my journey has been both, I don't know, I'm a different girl. I like a challenge. So to me, a challenge doesn't make me like hate my life.
Yeah.
Like a challenge makes, it actually fills me, like it thrills me, Yeah. And my journey has just been so funny because I was the sister, the cousin that was like, I ain't having kids. I ain't never having no kids. I was the auntie. Like, I'll be the rich auntie.
Yes.
I pop up to the birthdays, give the baby right back. I'll babysit for maybe a little bit, get the baby right back. Even before having a baby, I never had changed a diaper. So I was that far from ever thinking motherhood would be for me. So it was definitely unexpected, my journey. But now I'm like, I can't unsee my life without being a mom. Like,
isn't that crazy? Because to piggyback off of what you said, like that is literally out of my friend group, my girls were like, bitch, you gonna be the last one to have a baby. And I was like, y'all are right. Like I was just not in that mindset at all. Like I was not in that mindset. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know. I was like, I'm finna have a baby.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, what? But I was like you. I've never changed a diaper before. I did change one diaper.
Okay.
So my friend Sammy, she let me change Bray's
Shout out
diaper.
Sammy, girl.
Hey, Sammy. Yeah, Sammy let me change Bray's diaper. She's like, you got to learn. And I was like, I'm stressed.
I think it's dope though, because it just goes to show like women, like we're really made to do this.
Oh, we are.
You know, like I remember the first like couple of weeks, I was like, this is hard. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this.
Yes.
Then you adapt. Or not. Do you feel like you
still got bags on my eyes?
Are you adapting?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I didn't adapt. I definitely have risen to the occasion. But I honestly feel like my head is underwater. Like, I feel like I'm like,
also,
like coming up for air.
You're speaking from a place of right now you have 2 under 2.
Oh, true.
And you just had a baby 3 months ago. But I guarantee by the time we get to December, you're going to be like, how you was with Junie when you was like, girl, this is a breeze. This is easy. Like,
I know.
You know.
Because as they grow, it does get better.
Because it's seasons. Everything comes in seasons. Like when people say like, oh, they're not going to be newborn forever, like really cherish that moment. Now I understand. Because at first I was like, I'm a little confused by like what y'all mean by that.
Yeah,
like,
it goes so fast.
Like
from like 0 to 12 months. Like, oh my goodness. It's crazy.
I wish I could just like put a pause on a certain month.
Do you videotape?
Everything.
Okay, yeah.
Did you experience any like postpartum depression or any?
I did. I don't think that it was like, in my mind, I'm thinking as strong, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think that it was, I think it was like a little bit. It wasn't like a lot, but I definitely experienced it.
At what month?
One day.
Really?
Yeah. So my birthing experience, it was really tough. I had a really good, as far as like the actual birth and everything, it was really tough. But we had a lot of like family stuff that happened. And with that, it like really took a toll on me. Like it affected Jimmy and I. So like our relationship wasn't good. And then, you know, from there, I already wasn't sleeping. I didn't know how to take care of this baby. I just knew that like, you know, I've done all this research. Hopefully what I like did the research on works, but it's like
you still don't know.
Yeah, it's different when you're thrown into it. So it was definitely like a lot going on. And that's another thing that like they don't tell you about is like your relationship like struggles. Not everybody, but mine did. My relationship really took a toll on that. And with us being so different and morphing into these different people, and of course my hormones, like it was hard.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I kind of have a similar story, which you and I have talked about, but for the audience, for me, I had the same kind of like family drama, like 2 weeks out. Just a lot of like no one really being mindful of, oh, she just had a baby like 7 days ago. Like maybe we shouldn't be so harsh or like, you know, bring so much negativity or whatever it was. And people aren't considerate of how much of a vulnerable state you are in.
Oh, for sure.
Like your emotions are completely everywhere. You're already confused. Like the most you can ask for at that time is just support. Just feed me, just maybe help me out a little bit, you know, and just support me.
And let's talk about how you are honestly so scared to even like afraid of the birthing process. So that's like a whole other thing. And then your body has to physically heal from like
that too.
Giving birth to this child.
Yeah.
And it's so much.
And no one, luckily in my case, my husband like really stood up. Like that was like one of the first times in my life where I was like, oh, somebody really standing 10 feet tall for me, because I couldn't function on my own after giving birth.
Right.
And he really stepped it up for me and was my voice, like was
go,
the
Chris.
one that like really, you know, spoke for me.
I see you, boy. You go, Chris. We love to see it.
So for me, without Chris, honestly, I don't know. I probably would have snapped on somebody. It probably would have just not been a cute end of the story. I mean, I'm still in postpartum stages because my girl about to be 6 months. Yeah. So I feel like if I could explain it to anybody who is tuning in and you've never experienced it, it's like a heavy weight that just kind of comes over you, your mental and like your body. Like, and it's like you can't control it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like a dark kind of like cloud. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's actively dealing with it? Like,
give yourself grace. Mm-hmm. Definitely give yourself grace. Take it like even if you have to take it down to like 1 second of a time, like just breathe yourself through it, because the baby's going to cry. And like, I don't know if like you guys are having like problems with your relationship, but like y'all going to get into it. Like, it's like, just give it a second and just try to breathe through it. Like I literally do like breathing exercises.
Yeah.
That has helped me so much. I will say that another important note that I want to say is that not only women can suffer from postpartum depression. So like in my household, both of us got it.
Yeah.
And that was like very taxing on our relationship.
Because you got to be mindful of the man as well. Yeah. Because like one thing that Chris and I started doing was like, you know what, because you're going to get into it about how to do something. Right. That's just going to happen. Like if you're in a relationship, like somebody going to either feel like they know how to do it, or they want to do it like this, or they feel like it should be like, you're going to get into that. And one thing that we have been doing is just like recognizing that we are two different parents. Like
for sure.
If you grew up, your mom didn't do stuff like your dad. Like it's never going to happen. Like we're never going to be the same exact parent. And do we want to be that? No. Like I want to have my way of doing stuff and you can have your way of doing stuff. And the only thing that we pretty much agree on is routine. Like let's keep her on this routine. That's about it. However you want to do the bathing routine, whatever steps you take first, you know, that's on you. Like we do a little different.
I wish I could be like that. I'm a little micromanager. Oh, I hate it about myself. Like I hate it. I hate that I'm like that. And trust me, Jimmy hates it too. Like at least I can self-reflect.
I mean, at least you can say that out loud.
Yes. Sorry.
But also, this is what I'll say. I'm a micromanaging type of person as well. But for my mental health and going through postpartum, I had to step back and be like, hold on, I done married this man. He know what he doing.
Right.
He got 9 siblings. He done been here before. Like, I just be having those conversations in my head because if not, as a mom, you're naturally going to want to step in and be like, no, I don't do that like that or whatever. But it's like, sometimes I literally have to go in the other room and close the door and be like, let me let that man do it how he gonna do it. As long as the baby go to sleep, we won at the end of the day.
I will say that as far as like my mental state right now, I'm way better than I was this time around with Junie.
Good.
So I think it's really like to go from 0 to 1 is so tough. And to go from like 1 to 2 just makes it like a little bit better.
Wow. Why do you say that?
I think because it's like a well-oiled machine. At this point, you know what's going on and you just kind of like, it just comes back to you. Yeah. And you learned like, okay, I did this, that, and that the first time. And you're like, I don't want to do that this time. I want to switch it up a little bit and do this. Like you learn from your mistakes that you make because everyone's going to make mistakes. And you learn from them and you just adapt. And it's definitely hard. Don't get me wrong. But like as far as, yeah.
If I could give some advice for postpartum, I can tell y'all something that works for me. Self-care.
Yes.
I have had to develop like my own self-care routine.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
actually
so important. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes,
that is
girl.
so important.
Self-care. I'm actually going to be dropping a self-care line really soon. So I got to, give you some pieces.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
I literally have to do the things that makes me feel good. So I love robes. Like I got silk ones. I got like all types of robes. Yes. I got to do my little face mask, bath time, candles, watch a show. Like these are things that like I feel caters to me. Read a book.
Wait, what
book
shows
audio.
do you like right now?
So I just finished Queen Charlotte in 2 days.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't
What
it?
is that white boy's name? The one that played the king?
Girl, listen, I don't know because you watch, like, I watched Queen Charlotte like 2 years ago, basically at this point.
I'm late.
I don't know.
She said, in other words, babes, you're late. Catch
You're
up.
so late. Like, I'm like, I don't know.
God.
I'm on like Bridgerton right now.
Ago?
No, I'm hyping it. It wasn't 2 years ago, but it was a long time ago. Oh. It was a long time ago.
Well, I was eating that good old show.
But I remember that I loved it.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Loved it.
They ate really badly.
What else are you watching?
What else are we watching? I just started, of course, the new season of Bridgerton because I was like, can't watch Queen Charlotte and not roll into the real thing.
Yeah, it's so good. Sorry, I'm reaching for my thing. My eyes watering.
You know what I'm obsessed with?
What?
Just like the Love is Blinds. Do you watch stuff like that?
Girl, I watch everything.
Okay, because I'm like
I honestly don't know
watching?
how I have the time, but I watch it all.
Because you got to let it play while you're,
I know. I watch it all. It's like my vice for me to be able to like calm down. If I just need like a quick second, the kids are getting on my nerves. Maybe they just went down for a nap. I have some work to do, but I'm like, let me just play this.
Yeah, because what you have to do is, or what I realize I have to do, might not work for y'all. I can overthink myself into the hole of depression.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking about these people's stuff on this good old reality show, I have nothing to think about me.
Girl, ain't nothing but a word.
Self-care. That is something that I'm tapping into.
Yeah.
Also getting ready for the day. Like even if I don't have anywhere to go, I'm like, let me just brush my hair.
That's
like
really important.
Me like feel like I got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you feel better when you look in the mirror. Well, me at least.
No, me too. Me too. Sometimes Jim will look at me and be like, where are you going? I'm like, actually nowhere.
That's the question I want you to ask. I want my man to ask, where are you going?
Where are you going? Like
nowhere.
Nowhere. And I was like going through this little like funk when I just had the baby. It was like a funk, like I was still working. I was just trying to like develop a schedule, right? And my dad, he's just literally the best. He literally was like, wake up and get ready for the day. He's like, I don't care if you go nowhere. Get up and get yourself together.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
That helps.
So I was doing it.
It really does help because if you just stay in, I don't know, it's all about vibrations for me. So if it's dark in the house all day, my spirit's giving dark.
I know.
I'm feeling real dark.
Yes.
If it's giving light, you open the blinds, like you get yourself some coffee.
Yes,
it's like we're
some
ready to do
sun
something
on your face. Like you need that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I get a lot of questions because I just got one on Snapchat the other day that was like, how are y'all handling each other with having a new child? Like, are y'all still able to go on dates? Are y'all still able to hang out? Like, what is the dynamic of that?
So I think as far as our relationship, we definitely try to make the time. We have been definitely like going through things, but what's really good is that like he is always willing to like work things out and I'm always willing to work things out. And I think that's like really important to have in a relationship. So it's like, so to answer your question, yes, like we've been definitely taking time out for like dates
Yeah, I seen y'all. I was like, oh, they look cute. They stepped out.
Yeah, we've really been trying to. It's hard with 2 kids. We've been trying to make it work, but it's so difficult. Like the other day, he bought like stuff to make margaritas. And we
that's
just
cute.
like sat in the living room and we made margaritas. Cause again, I used to be a bartender.
Yes.
That's my specialty drink.
Yes.
So, yeah, we just made margaritas and we just like watched TV and we were just like chatting, but it wasn't just like watching, we were like chatting and things like that. So it was almost like having like a little date night at home.
Yeah.
Which is important to do.
Yeah, I feel like everything, even with that, kind of also becomes scheduling, you know? So like when, like for us, we hang out a lot inside. We don't have a village here. So a lot of people are blessed to have like their mama, they auntie, they cousins. Like we don't have, on both sides, we have 0 family here. So we got to figure out how to make things work. You know what I mean? So for us,
you better drop that baby off at my house. I'm not playing.
I know. But I'm like, girl, you got 2 kids. I ain't
not
trying to
playing. I don't care. We are family.
Yeah, I know.
You better drop her off and y'all better go have some fun.
Yeah, we do need a little date night. But for us, we have her on a pretty good schedule. So we get about like at night, 6 or 7 hours like of just whatever we want to do. So we watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies.
Right.
This new thing that I'm thinking of doing that I told him was writing. I seen this girl do it on Pinterest, but it's like getting a little bucket and writing different things to do. And then every like night or weekend, you like pull something and then whatever you pull, that's what y'all do. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to start doing that.
And I think that's so good that you guys are like actively trying to do stuff like that because it really is like they say that in your relationship. I think it's like the first 5 years after having a kid, it's going to be like ups and downs. And like 5 years, like that's
5 years.
That's a lot. Like a lot of people don't make it because of like just different trials and tribulations that you like go through. Yeah. But I think that's so good that you guys are like actively trying to, you know, like make it work and put in an effort so it doesn't get to a certain point.
No knock to like stay at home moms. Honestly, I think it's super cool to see. Like, I think it's very dope. For me, I'm just personally very creative, and I'm not saying stay at home moms aren't, but I'm very hustle driven. Yeah. Like I could have $1 million just sitting there and I still want to like create or do something with my life. That's just how I've always been. Even though to me, being a stay-at-home mom is still a full-time job because it's like raising kids and taking care of kids all day. That is a job. Right. Like you might as well clock in, babes. Like that is a job for sure.
Wait, remind me, are you a Capricorn?
Sag.
You're a Sag. Okay.
So that might put into the perspective as to why I can't sit my ass down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. So
you're moving.
Yeah.
But I think, again, like my mom, no, why am I saying that? My mom was not a stay-at-home mom. I don't even know why I was about to say that. But like, I'm trying to like show appreciate, like I definitely appreciate stay-at-home moms. Like I'm trying to connect.
I'm like, honestly.
I'm like, why am I trying to connect so hard?
No,
like
because I think we don't want to offend.
Yeah, I don't.
But at the same time, this is the reality of it all. There's so many different kinds of moms out there that like someone's gonna get offended.
I know.
That's why it's like, I know. This is the Honest Truth podcast. We're speaking our truth,
like,
okay?
I literally am like,
you might not relate with me. You might say, sit your ass down and let your man work if you're married. But for me, this is just my dynamic.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's like you can't relate to something you don't know or something you don't do. So it's like, you gotta, like, people gotta give grace again across the board. Because again, I can't knock anybody's hustle or how they decide to do things. I just know for me, what I do works for me. I have to get up. I have to get active. I'm always on to the next business idea. And I strap my baby on my back and she comes with me.
Amen.
Like she be at the event, honey.
Amen. Because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you literally don't have a choice. Yeah. So it's like, oh, we rolling. Yeah. Like,
and I think it's a product of what you were doing before too.
Yeah.
Because before I had a baby, I was that. You know, you can't really take the hustle out of somebody. Like just because I'm a wife and a mom, that ain't stopping nothing.
Right.
Like I'm still gonna do stuff.
You still doing stuff.
That's why it was like interesting to me when people, I don't know if you got this, but a lot of people would be like, your life is like gonna change. It's gonna be over.
Girl,
I hated that. I'm like, stop speaking out of your trauma.
Yes. My mom literally tells me, she's like, who just has a baby in 2 months and they're in New York? And I was like, girl, me. And my babies are at home, okay? Like,
I mean, people were saying that to me too. They're like, you filming a whole podcast? And I'm like, yes. I'm not dead.
I was showing homes 3 days postpartum, and everyone thought
that was wild. I'm not gonna lie. That shit was wild. I even said, girl, you need to sit your ass down.
But I honestly, it was like I was so excited to not be pregnant anymore. I felt great.
Yeah, you were amped.
I was like, oh, and then so what's also funny is I showed it to a physician. Like one of my clients is a physician, and
what did they say?
So I kind of like lied to her. I made it seem like somebody else was going so she wouldn't feel bad.
Yeah.
And then I showed up and she was like, girl. And I was like, girl, stop. Let's go see this house. I'm like, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yes, I'm fine.
It's just funny because they think we're insane.
Yeah.
What is some advice you can give to any kind of mother out there that is struggling mentally?
I will say, know that you're not alone. And then also don't be afraid to reach out and lean on your community, your friends, your family, like your partner, whoever it is. But don't be afraid. Like a lot of people think, you know, I don't want to burden them with like X, Y, and Z. For example, you not dropping my baby off so y'all can go have a good time. Like, right. Yes, I do know I have 2 under 2, but I'm telling you that you can drop her off and you guys can have a good time because I am your community. Like we are each other's. Lean on me, I lean on you.
Me my babies.
I know.
You don't listen to me either, so I'm like...
Listen, I didn't say I was good at taking the advice. I just said, you asked me, I'm giving it to you, okay?
You know, wraps it up for the day.
Yes.
If you guys are LA based, make sure you guys book my girl. She is my realtor. She just found us a fire home.
I can also help out with like around the country as well. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
So just hit me up and
we
then
gotta talk after this.
Yeah, and then I can help.
Love it. Thanks for coming on this episode.
Of course. Thank you for having me, girl. I love you so much.
I love you too.
So my name is Dixon. It is just Dixon with 2 T's on Instagram. And you can just DM me there. I can tell you my number too. You want me to tell you my work number?
Yeah.
818-305-4686.
Or maybe not. Because I'm like, what y'all gonna do with it? Like,
girl, it's my work number.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's not my real number. 818-305-4686. And then also, if y'all need a haircut, y'all need to book my man's.
Oh, yeah. I know that's right. You better.
My man is Jimmy Hustle, okay? AKA Met Gala Jimmy. So he does the Met Gala every year. He also is featured in like Vogue and like a bunch of other things.
She's like, my man.
You know, so he's not just like a barber. He's like the barber.
Yeah, he's bomb.
Yeah, and he never talks his shit.
He don't. I'm like, I couldn't be Jimmy at the Met Gala because
so y'all would have known. Right. I'm like, that's me. Like, I gotta be like, nah, talk your shit. Like you a celebrity barber. Like you cut everybody under the sun. Like that's crazy. He doesn't post anything.
Yeah, he tripping. I
crazy.
Can't be him.
I know.
Let me media manage Jimmy.
Exactly.
Shout out to Sweet Productions media marketing
company. Amen.
But okay. I love y'all. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a like and a comment. And let's continue this conversation in the comments below. I'm so curious to hear about your motherhood journey. And if you are not a mother, I just want to know your thoughts that you got on this episode. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.